In this videocast, I analyse Fenty Beauty's 2017 launch as a digital marketing campaign. The focus is on how inclusivity was built into the campaign strategy and how digital channels, particularly social media and creator content, were used to drive awareness, engagement, and impact across the customer journey. Fenty Beauty launched in September 2017 under Rihanna's creative direction, debuting with 40 foundation shades. At the time, this was unusual within the mainstream beauty industry and gained attention for both its cultural and commercial impact. The launch was recognised beyond the beauty sector, with Fenty named one of Time magazine's best inventions of 2017, showing that it addressed a genuine consumer need rather than simply introducing another makeup brand. A key objective of the campaign was to challenge the lack of shade diversity in the beauty industry. British Vogue highlighted that many consumers, particularly people of colour, had long struggled to find suitable foundation shades, and Fenty's launch directly responded to this exclusion. Research also shows that increased representation positively influenced consumer perceptions and feelings of inclusion. From a marketing perspective, the campaign aimed to generate rapid awareness through digital and social channels, with visibility driven largely by online discussion and creator content. Overall, the campaign focused on immediate awareness while also aiming to create lasting industry change. Fenty's use of digital marketing across the customer journey can be explained using the RACE framework, which breaks activity into reach, act, convert, and engage. At the reach stage, Fenty focused on visibility through social media and creator content. The launch quickly gained attention online, introducing the inclusive shade range to a global audience. The act stage encouraged interaction rather than immediate purchase. Shade matching videos, tutorials, and user-generated content allowed consumers to explore how products worked on different skin tones, which is especially important in online beauty purchases. For Convert, consumers were directed to Fenty's website, where shade tools and detailed product information supported confident purchase decisions. Finally, the Engage stage focused on post-purchase activity. Customers sharing experience online helped sustain interest and build trust among potential buyers. Overall, the RACE framework shows that Fenty's success came from using different digital tools at different stages, rather than relying on a single platform. Fenty Beauty's target audience included consumers who had struggled to find foundation shades that matched their skin tone. Research shows that many consumers, particularly people of colour, felt excluded by traditional beauty brands, making representation a key issue. This insight was also reflected in industry commentary, with British Vogue noting that Fenty's launch responded directly to long-standing frustration around shade diversity. Fenty also targeted digitally engaged beauty consumers who actively use online platforms when researching products. Because foundation is difficult to assess before purchase, consumers often rely on reviews, tutorials, and peer content rather than brand messaging alone. Research into Fenty's consumer impact shows that seeing products used by people with similar skin tones increased confidence and positive brand perception, highlighting the importance of social validation. To explain why Fenty's digital strategy was effective, it is useful to look at the consumer decision-making process. In beauty, this often starts with recognizing a need, such as realizing that existing brands do not offer suitable foundation shades. This issue was widely discussed around Fenty's launch and became a key driver of interest. Consumers then search for information online. As beauty products cannot be tested digitally, people rely heavily on reviews, tutorials, and creator content to reduce uncertainty. During evaluation, consumers compare options. For Fenty, shade demonstrations and user-generated content help people assess suitability, which is particularly important for high-involvement products like foundation. Once confident, purchase usually takes place through the brand's website. Owned channels are important here because they provide detailed information and a smooth buying process. After purchase, consumers often share experiences online, influencing others early in the decision process and showing how digital journeys are ongoing rather than straightforward. Fenty's digital strategy can be understood by looking at how earned, paid, and owned media were used together. Earned media played the most important role. Early attention came from influencers and consumers sharing shade-matching content and reviews, which often felt more genuine than brand-led messaging. Research shows that peer-led content is seen as more credible, particularly in trust-based categories like beauty. Paid media played a supporting role, helping increase the visibility of content that was already performing well organically, which reflects common digital practice. Owned media, particularly Fenty's website and online store, supported conversion by providing product information and shade tools that increased confidence. Overall, the campaign worked because each media type had a clear role. Fenty used different digital touchpoints at different stages of the customer journey. At awareness, Instagram and Creator Post introduced the brand and its inclusive message. During consideration, YouTube reviews, tutorials, and user-generated content supported evaluation before purchase. Conversion took place on the Fenty Beauty website, while post-purchase sharing and reviews helped sustain engagement. The consistent message across touchpoint reflects an integrated marketing communications approach. Brand personality refers to the human characteristics consumers associate with a brand. Akers' model suggests that these traits influence how consumers feel and the relationships they form. Fenty's digital presence communicated a personality that felt approachable, inclusive, and culturally relevant. By featuring people from diverse backgrounds and skin tones, the brand became associated with authenticity and representation. Keller's model helps explain why this consistency mattered. Repeated exposure to the same values across platforms helps consumers understand why Fenty stood for, what Fenty stood for, and what made it different. Overall, Fenty shows how brand personality can be communicated through digital content choices. Fenty's campaign had several strengths. One was its authentic approach to representation, which helped build trust and credibility in an online environment where authenticity mattered. Another strength was its wider industry impact. Competitors expanded shade ranges in response, showing how a strong digital campaign can influence category norms. However, there are weaknesses. Inclusivity risks becoming symbolic as competitors copy similar messaging, reducing differentiation. There is also reliance on community and creator content. While this builds trust, depending heavily on external voices can be risky if relationships are not carefully managed. To conclude, Fenty Beauty's campaign shows how effective digital marketing can be when it focuses on trust, representation, and consistency. One recommendation is to remain transparent in how creators and communities are involved, as transparency supports trust in digital environments. Another is to continue listening to and working with the Fenty community. Research shows consumers responded most positively when they felt represented and involved. And finally, maintaining consistency across digital platforms will help preserve brand meaning and improve customer experience as the brand grows. Overall, Fenty demonstrates how a well-integrated digital approach can create both cultural impact and long-term brand value.